Hello everyone! I'm back and I'm talking about body hair. There was a lot of feedback that came in about my last video about body hair in February, as I expected, because people get pretty heated over hair, especially when women have or don't have hair. I wanted to do a follow-up because in that video it was winter and I had body hair, but I was in a place where I wasn't really exposing it that much because I was pretty bundled up. And now it is summer and I've had my hair out, and I wanted to give you an update on what's been happening for me and some things that I've been thinking about. I've really started to let go a little bit more. I used to, scrutinize like the hair above my lip and like the chin hairs that I would get and like any hair growing between here. I've left the hair here alone. I don't know if I have any chin hairs right now. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I haven't been like scrutinizing myself as much. And I have left my eyebrows alone, just all together. I haven't been trying to make them grow more, and I also haven't been removing the hair. I've just let myself be. It's interesting that as women, from our eyes up, we are trying to have as much hair as possible, like thicker hair on our heads, eyebrows that are as thick as possible, lashes that are as long and thick as possible, but anything below that is questionable. In terms of my underarm hair, I actually really like my underarm hair. I have gotten to the point where I think it's cute now, and I've actually given it a little trim, a little haircut. Some of you had suggested in my last video when I asked about trimming it using a trimmer. So I got an electric trimmer and I used it underneath my arms and just did a tiny baby trim because I still want the majority of my hair to be there. I just kind of like trimmed around the edges. I see it as the equivalent of cutting the hair on my head. Maybe every 2 to 3 months I get a haircut. Same thing underneath my arms. I feel like every 2 to 3 months I might just go in there and give it a little haircut, but I want the majority of it to stay. I've also been thinking about pubic hair, and I have gone through like every kind of amount of hair as possible. I've had full bush, I've had like different shapes, I've had nothing, and now I'm at a point where I have my hair and sometimes I'll go in with the same trimmer that I have and trim a little bit, but not that much, and that is it. Because I've had the experience in the past where shaving, waxing was just, one, so incredibly painful, and then two, left me with ingrown hairs, blood all over like my pubic bone and my vulva, and then I would be left with scabs and scars, and I was just much more open to infection. And what I've learned now is that, oh, my pubic hair is actually here for a reason, to like be a buffer between my body and any clothing that I'm wearing. It's there for me, not to be there like against me and to torture me. And I've just had way less issues. Like my skin hasn't been irritated, no ingrown hairs, not having any kind of infections, no blood, thank the Lord, and no scarring. It has just been a much more positive experience for me. And now when I look down in the shower, instead of just being grossed out by my body hair, I look down and I think, I did that. My body grew that. That's pretty cool. And that is a huge shift for me, and that feels like a real personal accomplishment. In my last body hair video, I was nervous about summer because I had never really had my body hair out before and visible for more people to see. Since then, I have definitely gone through a process. I actually started slowly showing the hair on my legs, and it actually worked out really well seasonally. Like my ankles started showing, and then I started wearing longer dresses and then shorter dresses, And then before I knew it, like my legs were all the way out. That has definitely been a new experience for me, just having full on black hair on my legs. Being able to see the way that my hair grows, when the wind blows, I can feel my hair like moving around in the wind. When it first happened, I was like, what is that? That feels weird. That happens on a regular basis now. When I first had my legs out, I was thinking all the time like, oh my God, does this person see my leg hair? Does this person see my leg hair? So like conscious about, do other people see it? And now I really don't think about that at all because it matters less to me. And now the only time that it really pops into my head is when I'm on the subway with other people and they're sitting across from me or next to me, because I feel like that's when you can really see someone's body more. And you know, what's made me feel great is seeing other people on the subway who also have hairy legs and armpits just like me. Whether they reach up on a pole or they sit down and they're wearing a skirt and they have hairy legs, I'm like, hello, we should know each other. That has been really great because I was just like in my head about being like the only one, which I know is not rational because there are plenty of other women out in the world that have body hair, but being able to actually see it in front of me on a regular basis has really helped to give me confidence and also to just not think about it so much. Let's move into some things that I've been thinking about since the last video in terms of body hair. We're gonna jump around to a few different places. Body hair on women is something that we are seeing more of on social media, even in some advertisements. We're hearing more people talk about it, but it's usually through the lens of a cis white woman. And that is a very specific experience. And often it can seem like through that experience that we're done. We're done with body hair, we've conquered that mountain, we can all move on. But it's very different when you are not a white woman. And for me, it's really complicated because I'm half white and I'm also half Southeast Asian because my mom is from Thailand. The Asian race is usually perceived to be very feminine. And for me, it has been interesting being half Asian and having body hair when the perception of Asian women and the assumption by a lot of people is that Asians don't have hair. But, you know, my mom has darker skin. She also has black hair. And I have black body hair that is different texture from the white women that I know and a different color from the white women that I know. And it's a complex experience being mixed race, and that means it's a complex experience being mixed race and having your body hair showing too. In a way, it makes me feel like I'm a failure as an Asian woman to have like coarse, thick hair, even though I know that there are other Asian women that have this experience. And it's because there's a very narrow perception of what an Asian woman is, and a lot of that is based in stereotypes. I have also thought about the things that I used to do to try and control my hair, or the things that would happen on my body because of my racial background. So because of my racial background, because I am half Thai, my skin scars more easily. I also experience darkness in certain areas of my body that is just totally natural, and that can be something that is amplified if I shave and maybe I get a scar, and then the darkness and the shadow becomes darker, especially underneath my arms. My hair is coarser in certain places, so removing hair can lead to ingrown hairs, cuts, open wounds, scarring, you name it, I've experienced it. It's painful and not fun. I actually talked about some of these things in my past videos. Way back in the day, I talked about how I was trying to lighten the skin underneath my arms. And I don't just mean lighten, I mean whiten the skin underneath my arms, because when I would shave, I would be left with a dark shadow underneath my arms, and I was trying deodorants and sprays and things that I would get from Asia that said that they were whitening, trying to lighten up the darkness underneath my arms because I thought it was unacceptable. That is really heartbreaking to know that that is what I was feeling, that I felt dirty because of what was happening to my body naturally. And if we're really gonna go there, you know, I'm someone that experiences hair on my nipples, and I have coarse hair there, and I have hairs that grow like on my chin and hair above my lips. I have really started to think about this more in the context of like my racial background, and also talking to other women of color and what their experiences have been like. And I've seen a lot of crossover and how we've thought about the same things and how we're struggling with a lot of the same things. I'm a cis mixed race woman, and that is a different experience from someone who may have darker skin or thicker hair, or hair that's a different texture, or hair that grows in different places. And this was actually a comment that I saw on my last video. There were several people that messaged me on Instagram. I also saw comments on YouTube about women telling me that they have hirsutism. This means that typically they have hair that is growing above their lip, on their chin, on their chest. Hearing about hirsutism, which I had known about before, but really taking it into the context of this last video that I had made me start thinking about just a whole range of how we view body hair on other people and also on ourselves, and how hair is acceptable in certain places on women and is deemed unacceptable in other places. So we may be going through a moment right now where like armpit hair is more cool to have, or like leg hair is more cool to have, but like nipple hair, chest hair, chin hair, hair above your lip, I don't think that is having the same kind of moment. There's still very much a taboo around that, and there's still a lot of complex feelings around that. So when we think about like liberation in terms of body hair, there really is a long way to go and a lot more work to do as well. When it comes to beauty standards, it is complex and very complicated, and there definitely is the element of patriarchy that can be looming around, but there's also a lot more going on. And I think it's important for us, at least at this point, to decide for ourselves what our standards are. And for me, my standard is that I want to enjoy the experience of being in my body more often than not. And so what does that look like for me today? What do I need to do for myself to help me enjoy the experience of being in my body today in this moment? And today in this moment, it means having hairy armpits and hairy legs and, you know, leaving the hair on my face alone for now. But there are other days where that might change. This isn't about policing other people, shaming other people, making other people feel bad for the decisions that they are making about their bodies, because being in a body in general is a painful, complicated experience. And I think we owe it to ourselves and other people to have more compassion and open minds when it comes to what we're doing with our own bodies and what other people are doing with their bodies. That is gonna be it for my video today. I would love to hear your thoughts on body hair, beauty standards, whatever resonated with you in this video. Leave me a comment down below, because there was a lot of discussion last time and I really loved it. I think there's a lot to say here, and I would love to hear what your experiences are. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you can get notified when I do post new videos. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.